Welcome back to Tuesday Tips for Leaders of Volunteers. I am Dana, and this week we're talking about the best ways to successfully collaborate across departments, especially if you're in an agency where departments or areas of interest or mission function are very siloed or very kind of isolated, and the teams don't usually communicate, collaborate, cooperate with each other very much. Now, as a leader of volunteers, it's probably out of your scope to fix the culture of the whole agency, but even if you're stuck in a very structurally siloed type of organization, which is pretty common, there are ways that you can offer to bring solutions and work towards shared goals with people in other departments, especially around your goals of volunteer recruitment, community engagement, donor recruitment's a big overlap. So kind of thinking about what are the other departments' areas that overlap with the same goals as yours. And sometimes there's individual personalities that kind of get in the way of collaboration. People feel very territorial about their team, or they're worried about not having the bandwidth to deal with volunteers and things like that. So a really good kind of initial approach is who is already kind of a fan of your work, and someone who, even if technically your teams haven't started to collaborate on projects or marketing or recruitment, though even if you're a department of one, there are a few things that you can do to start to create a relationship to break down these silos between departments. And I talked about shared goals. And that's really the easiest approach to say, hey, if we do align in our community engagement with donors, with volunteers, with voters, with people who we want to use our services and programs, that builds up the agency brand, that builds up awareness of the mission and the good work we're doing. Those are some pretty common shared goals. That's a great place to start if you're having that conversation across departments, to align your work better and to kind of get over these silos or these separate functions, and very often separate systems and databases. I've worked with a lot of agencies, both full-time in my career and now as clients agencies, where there's completely different databases or software between volunteer engagement and donor engagement and programs or education. And again, that may be something that's well beyond your pay grade to solve, but at least starting to have some shared documents, whether those are secure through Dropbox or passwords or things like that, or on the intranet with the agency, or if you're able to do more easy open source things with Google Suite and other free apps or whatever platforms your agency is using, there's ways to share seamlessly when you can all benefit from the same information and use data together. The second big point of this Tuesday tip of kind of breaking down silos and encouraging collaboration is to make it data-driven. So what are your metrics in your department that you can show, maybe from your volunteer management software system, maybe you are plugged into something like iContact or MailChimp or something where you can get email data and say, this is the overlap between our volunteers and our donors and people who utilize our programs and services. So if you kind of come to a conversation with a solution and with shared goals, that's a stronger starting statement to get collaboration and cooperation. It might need to start at an individual level where you kind of create these relationships with colleagues and this rapport and this kind of peer network, but then it can grow to change the system. So any chance that you get to bring new data, new information, success stories about even a smallest collaborative project, that you can, kind of take that up the command chain, up the food chain, up to leadership team, any chance to report that out quarterly or even after a year for an annual report, that's going to start to make a difference. And especially, we've talked about when you're managing up, understanding that person's learning style, communication style, whether they're more analytical, whether they are more emotionally driven and they like stories and personal anecdotes that kind of tug on the heartstrings, or whether they just want to see the raw numbers and they don't want a big story wasting their time. There's very often the person that you need to convince might be opposite of your natural communication style. So just kind of understand that when you're trying to collaborate in a sideways or lateral move, in addition to that working really well when you are managing up. So I hope that these couple of Tuesday tips are useful to you in collaborating and breaking down these silos. I've got tons of Tuesday tips here on the channel and priceless advice interviews, more in-depth interviews with lots of guests from around the world. And as I say in the last few videos, I absolutely welcome your wisdom and your voice. So let me know if you want to be a guest or you have some Tuesday tips of your own to share. And I'm happy to broadcast that out to our subscribers. So thank you so much for following me in this channel and these videos, and we'll see you next time.